Bitch!
Oh my God.
Welcome to the Unimaginary Frankcast. This is our live stream episode number 263. This is a conversation with your socially distanced best friends. And we are those best friends.
I am Nathan Von Edmondson.
I'm Erin Marie Betty Davis Jr.
And I'm DavidMonster.com.
And today we're going to be blowing the lid off of none other than Britney Spears. That's right, I said Britney Spears. You guys may or may not have heard of the Free Britney movement. I personally hadn't until my sister-in-law told me about it a couple months ago. I had no idea any of this was going on. And I didn't care one bit. That's a whole separate story. But the New York Times just released this documentary, Framing Britney Spears. I think it's called Framing Britney Spears. And it sheds light on what ended up being what I'll say is a pretty crazy and disturbing story. So we're going to unpack all of that and discuss it today. But first.
Oh, shit. Wait. God, it's so hard. Oh, God, it's so hard.
Should I I'll go first? So
Yeah.
I had worked on a documentary film, a feature-length project called American Birthright that finally got finished after 5.5 years. And it's on the festival circuit. It's gotten into 3 festivals so far. The first one, it's a film about religion, so it's doing well in the Jewish world. And it's the first screenings at the Miami Jewish Film Festival, and you can find information at AmericanBirthrightFilm.com. But I'm going to be doing a Q&A with the film festival people on Sunday, and they're going to play that after the screening of the film. So hopefully you'll all get tickets to come check it out. It's going to be a blast.
That's cool. Congratulations.
Thanks. That's my news.
I'll go next. I had a birthday. So
It's true. I was there.
February wasn't totally taken over by Valentine's Day, as I indicated previously. But I spent a few hours that day shoveling and plowing snow. So today I've officially declared winter over.
He did, yeah.
That's my news.
There was with no meteorological basis at all.
Everything's melting. It's warm. It's up to 55 today, which is the warmest it's been for a very long time. So the snow is disappearing quickly, but it's over. It's done. Spring has arrived.
I'm cool with that.
I just like to thank our listener who congratulated me on the film. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I went for a walk the other day, and as the snow is disappearing, I walked around this park that's near our place. Pretty busy street. And there's on one side, there's a sidewalk right there. And apparently a car decided to go up and onto the sidewalk and drive the entire length of the block. And you can tell because there's just tire tracks on either side of the sidewalk the whole way till about, I'd say 4/5 of the way up. You can see that the muddiness and the weight of the car started plowing up dirt and snow until it looks like they got all the way out, but there was certainly a mess they made of it. Yeah.
That sounds very Philly to me.
Right?
I'm with you because I'm sick of the cold. It's been freezing here. I don't know if you guys know this, but we've been having nightmare temperatures. It's just been a living hell. It's gotten down to 65 degrees. And it's been horrible, and I'm so cold, and I'm ready for the summer because COVID robbed me of my summer last year. But I hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll survive these hellish temperatures.
Yeah, I feel so bad for you, David.
Thank you. Thank you.
What is your news this week?
My news is that I don't have any news this week. I'm giving you guys a week off.
Oh, so yeah, you know, it's 60 of these because of how many times you give us more than one news.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
I think David's just excited to talk about Britney. That's what I think.
It's Britney, bitch.
So let's move along to our gold star for this week. You may or may not know I feel like I'm just shedding so much light on so many things to our viewers.
You are. You're a woman-splainer.
So it is Black History Month. I'm going to wait until this graphic ends because it's extremely long. It is Black History Month, and it is the last week of February, I believe. And so we are going to honor the founders of the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm going to try to say these names correct. Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi, who started a global, not just a national, a global movement for equity and equality. And that's pretty damn cool.
And they are up for the Nobel Peace Prize too.
Amazing.
But I talked to an African-American person and they were like, yeah, that's great. But so is, Jared Kushner.
Why?
Wow.
because he talked to which nothing happened of it, but he talked to he had a Jewish person in the room and an Arab person in the room from Israel and from somewhere else, but nothing came of it. It's not like they have peace in the Middle East, but he's up for one for doing that.
I have so much to say about that, but I don't want to right now.
I am boycotting Jared Kushner. I'm boycotting Israel. I'm boycotting all of the Arab nations. I'm boycotting it all.
He owns the plaza where my brother's restaurant is in Philadelphia. Isn't that weird?
Oh, Jared Kushner does?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's not say anything about him then. Do you guys know Casey Hare?
Yes, I was going to give a shout out to Ange and Casey, who are joining us tonight. Apparently, they have a lot to say about Britney, so I'm very excited.
Oh, they do. They have this to say about Britney.
Very important to say. It's Britney, bitch.
It's Britney, bitch.
Unless you guys have anything else, I think we should move in to our main topic.
Dive in, bitch.
So I'm just going to do a very brief rundown of what's going on and jump right into it. This is for anyone that was ignorant like me and didn't know what was going on.
Ignorant. So you're going to are you going to white explain to us right now?
No, or thought they didn't care. Listen, I grew up in the era of Britney Spears, but she wasn't my cup of tea. I was doing other stuff. So I didn't really know anything about her. I didn't really care. But this documentary was really interesting and kind of made me care a little bit, to be honest. So I'm going to read. This is straight up from the New York Times website, and they're the ones that produced this film. So they say that Britney Spears hasn't been able to fully live her own life for 13 years now. So she's stuck in a court-sanctioned conservatorship, which I'd heard of, but never really thought about what that could mean. So this documentary framing Britney Spears examines what the public doesn't know about her battle to control her finances and her estate. And she's basically said that she's not going to perform anymore. Her father is in charge of everything. She said she's not going to perform or do anything else until her father is not in charge of the conservatorship. And apparently her life is just in complete standstill, and she lives under this sanctioned conservatorship. Her rights are curtailed. She's not in control of her fortune. She can't control what she does or where she goes or her medical care, anything like that. You guys can watch this documentary on Hulu if you're interested. But it follows, especially in the beginning and end, some of her super fans that are trying to allegedly expose her father for things that he's doing that are stifling her and causing her career to tank. And it also examines the media's handling of her and her career, which was really interesting and also kind of scary. So that's kind of what the film is about and what's going on with Britney. So we can jump in. Go.
Okay, I have a really interesting parallel that I want to talk about at the end, but I think we should pick apart different parts of it. I think the media treatment of her was unbelievable. I didn't know. I was like you. I didn't follow her. I always thought she was cute. I only like Toxic. The rest of her songs I don't really care about because it's not my thing. I always thought she was cute, and this documentary made me think she was cute. There's times when she's super cute and she's super smart and funny in the documentary, and then there's other times whatever. But like even go ahead.
It's funny because she like there's certain times where she's straight up like Southern accent Louisiana girl.
Yeah.
Times where she has this big girl voice on, and she's like, she sounds like she's got a doctorate from Harvard or something, and then there's like, she sounds completely crazy. So I actually don't know if I know who she is, like which one of these people she is, or if she's some combination of all of them.
Totally. I think she's a combination of all of them. We do have to give a shout out to Dr. Anna Banana Denotro Maniers, who just thanks for being here. And she likes my backdrop. So we're not gonna describe my backdrop. So if you're a listener, you have to watch the video. And yes, I agree. I think that's part of her charm is that Anna Denotro Banana. No, that Britney is different people at different times. And anyways, what I was going to get into is the media handling of her. And I think the worst person, they show a lot of different people interviewing her, and they were harsh on her. They asked her stupid questions and ridiculous questions. I think the worst offender, though, was Diane Sawyer. The way Diane Sawyer treated her was unbelievable. And there's a point at which she's interviewing her, and she makes Britney cry because she won't shut up about it's Diane Sawyer, and she's a journalist, and she's asking about her fucking breakup with Justin Timberlake, which is ridiculous. And then at some point she flashes a graphic on the screen, and she quotes the wife of the governor of Maryland, who said, if I had the opportunity to shoot Britney Spears, I think I would. And Britney gets really sad, and she's like, wow, that's so harsh. That's so sad. And Diane Sawyer goes, well, it's because you're an example of kids and how hard it is to be a parent. So she's like backing up this girl who said she's going to shoot, or this woman who says she's going to shoot Britney Spears, instead of saying that's horrible. Diane Sawyer's, we should kick her in the cunt. Like, there's something wrong with her. No, like the way she was in that interview was so unbelievably ridiculous.
I don't know. I feel like all of them were equally fucked up. But that moment, though, too, got me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Diane Sawyer definitely took the cake in that. Worst interviewer. You get to just the whole sensationalism of Britney, and sexualization, because she's being sexy, she's being a schoolgirl, she's writing this line that they talk about it being like a young girl and also like a sexualized woman. And even starting with, was it Ed McMahon was the first interview you see when she's probably 8 years old. And the only thing he asked her about is whether or not she has a boyfriend.
Yeah, or if she'd date him.
Which is totally fucked up and now wouldn't even fly.
It's supposed to be cute, but yeah.
Right. So
it's so creepy.
Just like the framing of how to talk to a young girl and then a teenage girl, and then someone who's, growing into her own and going to become a sexual being, like be someone who has that power and is going to wield it. The amount of it just felt like they were on a hit squad to get her to go after her. And Diane Sawyer, I think, really, like you said, just represented it in the worst way.
Yeah.
And you would think Diane Sawyer would have some compassion for her, because you guys probably don't know this, you weren't old enough. When Diane Sawyer started out, she would wear like short skirts and show her legs and stuff. So they would talk about her as a sexual being, as a journalist, and she'd be like, I'm trying to do my job, like, let's not talk about my looks. And then she turns around and does that to Britney. So the woman is full of shit. The woman is straight up full of shit. And I do want to point out, we have a listener, Tim Gunn, that says, check out Britney's Instagram. It's scary. And it is, because Britney seems to be sending messages through her Instagram.
According to her super fans, they're trying to decode and find all these hidden messages. And I can't confirm nor deny. Like, I can see where they're pulling certain things from, but it's like...
But look at it even since. Like, she gives some things where you're like, wait, what is she talking about? Just... you're right. Like, they're looking for it, but if you wanted to find something, she gives a lot to find, because you're like, wait, what did she just say? Wait, what did she just say? Wait, what did she just say? Sorry, go ahead.
You learn watching the documentary, and we'll talk about at length, is how confusing it all is, because you can kind of go down every line. Like, yeah, she's totally being exploited. Yeah, she's totally crazy. Yeah, she's, some version of all of these things. So it is kind of murky. in certain ways.
And going back to the ways the media was treating her, it was interesting to see, and I know this was spun too, but how Justin Timberlake even talked about her after their relationship. And there was a cover of a magazine that I ended up pausing the film on because I was like, that is fucked up. And it was like, I can't remember the first part of it because that's not the part that got me. It was like Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears broke up, but at least he got into her pants. And that was like the cover of like Rolling Stone or some really legitimate magazine.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I don't know. As little as I cared about her, I really felt bad for her. She was just a little kid growing up in entertainment, and she went through like just got strung out to dry.
Yeah,
totally.
Everyone.
I think it shows how far we've come in a way that, you know, this was what, 20, 25 years ago when this all started, roughly, I'd say like 20 years ago.
Not even 20, just about 20. Yeah.
20 years ago is when all this started. And it's embarrassing to watch how they treated her. It's so obviously fucked up and manipulative and just atrocious. Like now I think you're not even able to ask those kinds of questions now. It's just really disgusting.
The double standard of how these questions would never be asked of, because that was the boy band era, and they're not going around asking like NSYNC like all these stupid questions about what they wear and like if they're too slutty, too sexual. It's just not that.
And that's what we're going to do on this program. Every time we have a man or a boy on this program, we're going to ask him slutty questions about his slutty attire from now on. But women, we're going to only ask brain stuff. And I would like to point out that a listener backs me up and says that Diane Sawyer was such a butt munch. And I want to agree with that. And I want to talk about that because when you look at everything she wore, she was never that sexual, and she was never that much more sexual than anyone else. She was not more sexual than Madonna, who came along a good 20 years before her. So I don't get it. Like, she's not anywhere near as sexual as Madonna, actually.
Right. That a listener pointed out the Matt Lauer interview too, how their actual knees were touching. And, you know, now we know after the fact in hindsight that Matt Lauer is a total creep, but you can actually see it in the interview there. That was a good point.
Yeah. And he's doing the same thing Diane Sawyer's doing. It's like he's getting down to the nitty gritty. And it's like he's talking to Britney Spears, like fucking toxic, like shut up. Like he's like, and did you do like, it's like as he's picking apart something so important, and it's just like, shut up.
I think no matter what is the truth with Britney in her current state, her mental state, it's obvious that how she was treated during this initial era fucked her up. Like there's no way that it couldn't have messed with her psychologically. You see her breaking down.
There's no way you don't go crazy. You're 8 years old, like and then you're like 15 years old, like playing in a mall, and then the next day you're a superstar, and then everyone's asking you about your body and sex and scrutinizing you for everything you do. Any normal person would lose their mind. Like
totally
makes sense.
Totally.
So we have listeners agreeing that she's definitely sending codes and clues.
She 100% is.
I haven't looked at her Instagram, so I don't know. I've only saw that pictures posted in the doc.
Yeah, look at it for sure. So and then along with the media blitz comes a paparazzi siege, and they're showing sometimes where she's surrounded. There's no way she can get out. She is just mobbed by paparazzi, which would be scary, I think, for any human being, for sure. But this is what I want to say. I want to say that, like, this is what I want to say. Okay, get ready, because this is what I want to say. Are you guys ready?
Clothes off. I'm getting very ready.
I do think that she was scared, and I think that she was victimized, but there were times when they show her pulling up to the Beverly Hills Hotel in the front, and she's just mobbed by paparazzi, or she's pulling up to these weird restaurants. It's like, why is she going to this stupid restaurant on the street and stuff? Some of that was maneuvered. I don't know if it was maneuvered by her or her people, but you can be a celebrity and show up at places and nobody knows. they were told she's going to be here. I guarantee you, because there is a back entrance to the Beverly Hills Hotel. There's an entrance you can go in that no paparazzi can go into. She didn't have to go in the front and be mobbed. And every time she did it, she was on the cover of every magazine and in every news station in the world. So it's like, I don't know. It kind of looks like she wasn't told, but it's someone in her camp is telling the paparazzi where she's going to be, and someone in her camp is telling the drivers how to arrive so they get maximum coverage.
They interviewed one of the paparazzi photographers that had been following her forever. And his argument was that she liked it. She enjoyed the attention, and some of those early clips, like she was kind of playing along with them and giving them the shots that they were looking for. But it got really vicious later on, and that same photographer still was saying, like, and he was the one that got his car wrecked by her umbrella when she just lost her mind. And he was like, she never told us not to be around her, where you can hear her in the video being like, leave us alone. Like, I just wanted to
totally
photographer, because he's making $1 million on every single photo he gets of her. Like,
yeah,
whole industry.
And David, you're right that it is mutually beneficial, but the way they edited the documentary, you can tell there, as you move through time, there is like you can tell that it's helping Britney. She's benefiting from it as well. Even when she's confrontational in certain moments, or like when she's going into that hotel, she looks very defiant almost. And it's like the drama of it is definitely compelling, but it went too far. It goes too far and it becomes manipulative. And then she's starts having, being attacked for not being great, for breaking up with Justin, for whatever she did to Justin.
Yeah, what did she do?
Yeah, what did she do?
Fans, we need to know.
So on and so forth. And the media kind of it seemed, you could feel everything kind of turning against her. Like, we celebrate you and then we tear you down. And that's like the traditional path with fame, they say, right? Like, we'll build you and then we love you, and then we'll tear you down. So it's like you watch both.
Totally. I would like to know how much it was orchestrated and how much she didn't know. There were times when she knew she was going to be mobbed by paparazzi. I guarantee you. And we have a listener. We have longtime listener, first time caller, Jessica Richards. It says, due to the constraints of her conservatorship, she doesn't have full control of her Instagram. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
It makes sense, because if she doesn't have control over any other part of her life, why would she be able to post whatever she wants? But
we don't know. We're gonna have to watch Instagram and tear it apart like an alien autopsy video.
You bring it up at one point that there was a post where instead of a smiley face emoji, it was made with just letter, or like the semicolon parentheses. And that isn't what Britney doesn't do that. Someone is obviously controlling her Instagram. So
that was a crack out.
We have a listener asking, are the parents at fault? I mean,
yes.
That's hard to say, because the parents were the ones that gave up everything to support her career early on. At least the mom, it seemed like. The dad was always kind of a little shady, but they were broke and kind of did everything they could to get her to New York and get her in front of people. And
they did kind of kick her off onto that babysitter type assistant lady, though.
She seemed like a nice, reputable lady, though.
But she did. I believe that she's a nice person, but we don't know. She could be whatever. But I just found out that they don't talk about in the thing is everyone in her family was on the payroll of her conservatorship, including her brother and her father and her mother. So they're all getting money from her conservatorship.
I don't know. I feel bad for her, I guess. She should be able to dictate what she does with her money. But there was the lawyer that I think said the most important thing of the whole film at one point. He was not her lawyer. I think he was going to be her lawyer and then couldn't get hired.
He thought she wanted to retain him. At least that's what he said. And when he went to represent her, they said that she wasn't in a proper state to retain a lawyer. So he was denied representing her.
But he said, you don't know what you don't know. And I think we have to continue to keep that in mind, because we can speculate about what's going on, but we really don't know what her condition is or what's going on and
or what she has done. Because she lost custody of her kids, bam. So like, what did she do? Like supposedly, especially in California, for someone to take custody of kids from their mother, they have had to do something severe. So we don't know what she has done, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, we have a comment here. She didn't get to learn appropriate social cues that most people learn in their adolescent, teenage, early 20 years. Because of losing that whole learning experience, she's reacting to her adult world without those important tools. I think that's a really good point as well.
I'll agree.
Yeah, I mean, she went from being, a sweet little girl who was just trying to make it, desperate to make it probably, to someone who could go and go anywhere, be worshipped by throngs of people. It definitely distorts your world when you have that sort of power. And then
Totally.
start throwing in, because there was certainly moments where she looked to me as though she was under the influence of something, whether it was pills or alcohol or any kind of other drugs, whether she was being drugged at certain points or not, or just doing it herself. So
there was allegations of that one guy later on drugging her. Like he took control of everything and started drugging her. Again, allegations.
That was right before the conservative
allegations. Well, we have a fan that knows, because we asked, what did she do to Justin? And the fan says she cheated on him with Wade J. Robson.
Wade Robson.
A choreographer, a straight choreographer. That sounds unusual.
What's the Michael Jackson kid? Wade Robson. Isn't that the same one?
Yeah, the guy who
he was in the Michael Jackson documentary. He was.
Oh, really?
No, I feel like it's the same guy.
If that's him.
Oh, wait, yeah. A listener says he's in the Finding Neverland doc.
Oh, yeah, because he basically helped create Britney's career with the music stylings that he learned under the tutelage of Michael Jackson, and like he basically emulated Michael Jackson's moves, and then became a performer and choreographer, and then like bequeathed all his knowledge to Britney and shot her career up into the stratosphere.
Did you?
I gotta say,
I
gotta
say, I am so sick of the Michael Jackson moves. What? Sorry, go ahead.
You need to pause for. We had a very a really memorable vocabulary moment. Nathan used the word tutelage in a sentence.
SAT word?
I don't know.
Is it
I don't think I've ever heard someone say that out loud. It was great. You did a great job.
That's a correct word, Nathan. That's an actual word.
It means a lot.
Words.
Oh, that's fun.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I think the conservatorship. So basically, that came about because she was acting so erratically, and people were taking advantage of her so much. Like this guy who was apparently drugging her, and she was like not taking care of her kids well. Like she was separated from her husband, whatever the hell his name was, who we confirmed seemed like a sleazeball from day one.
Kevin Federline.
Yes.
You can just look at. I don't know anything about him. Nothing. They didn't even give him any talking lines in the documentary. But I can just look at him and be like, that guy sucks.
He's a creep. Dude, he's getting $22,000 a month child support. $22,000 a month child support. $22,000 a month child support. And he's fighting to double that. To double it. So, yeah. And he lives in Las Vegas. So, yeah, we should have had Casey Hare on the program because he seems to know everything there is to know about Britney Spears. He says she gave her mother a restraining order around the time that she was going through postpartum depression. I didn't know that. They didn't talk about that in the documentary, did they?
No. Okay, we have a whole bunch of information.
God, we just read what Casey's giving us.
I know. Go ahead.
Her mom made her own friend go on tour with her. Yeah, there's some, I forget her name, and it seemed weird. Even if you had a kid in school that was younger, you could have juggled both and gotten the other kid in education. Yeah, we talk about parenting. The mom was definitely like, yeah, go on, Britney, like figure your shit out, go with some lady, and kind of just left her to start off on her own. That is kind of weird.
I think also
it's super weird.
If you figure you have these two normal parents who were, struggling in a really crappy town, not crappy, but like low-income town with just a basic experience of life, and then your daughter has this super talent and starts like shooting up into the stratosphere, as I said earlier. There must be some weird levels of envy and guilt and resentment, and like all that stuff can get piled up in there. Like her father disappeared from her life until the conservatorship happened, you know, a decade later, when he came back to take control and help his daughter. But where was he during that previous decade, right? He kind of disappeared. So
was he work? Well, that's what the documentary says. We don't know if he was working, but they did say in the documentary, and Britney said it a few times herself, that she's afraid of him and she doesn't like her father, and she feels stressed out by him and stuff. That's the weird thing too, is we don't know what we don't know, because it's weird that that if she's afraid of her father, that she can't divorce him from the conservatorship, which normally can be done if you can find another suitable person to put it on, but they haven't done that. So we don't know what we don't know. Like what happened there. It all comes back to, I think, because I think that she had something to do with the making of that documentary, because it puts her in a really good light. And I do like her, basically, but we don't know what she has done. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know what we don't know.
There's two things that I think are like the really important moments about this. One is they brought up the fact that she has this conservatorship because she can't take care of herself. Yet the entire thing was relying and she's working and touring and just generating, she had residency in Las Vegas. She's generating so much money. So she's obviously able to perform and work. So that's pretty amazing. So does she really need a conservatorship if she's capable of functioning at that level? That question comes up. Two, when a conservatorship becomes, at one point they proposed that it's more like a co-business as opposed to something else, and that the people involved deserve to have more money. So there's like a profit motive that's going off when you have this much money. So that's the other aspect that's bizarre.
And also, we have to realize, too, that we're talking about her again, and she's in the news again. Like, she's in the news everywhere again now, and people are very empathetic towards her right now. So just keep that in mind. What is that called, people? It's called propaganda. Okay? We have a huge, long thing. I don't know if you guys want to read that. We should have just had this guest on, but go ahead.
Basically just saying that the media it takes a lot of the blame of all of this.
But the media also brought her a lot of money. I don't know if I would blame the media. I would blame Matt Lauer and Diane Sawyer.
Well,
they're the media.
Because they're assholes, but yeah, go ahead.
But I think this is, the media they're trying to create headlines, so they can create the good headline, good headline, good headline. And so that gets boring. Then they have to do something else to create more interest. So, turning on her and, showing how bad she is even more salacious, right? And now it's like, she's a victim. So that's the thing. You can kind of see how the media is just like following the bait almost of what is going to generate. It's just like comes that back to greed.
Yeah, I mean, so listen, like conservatorships historically are for people that are incapacitated in some way. Maybe they're really old and they have a fortune and aren't in the mental state to like figure out their finances or whatever it is. Regardless of what's going on with her, she's young, so this normally doesn't happen to really young people. So, and even if she's like, I don't know, bipolar, or even if she has abused drugs in some way, how many people have like mental issues and drug addictions and control their own life and just piss away their fortune? Like, why can't she just do that? Why can't they just let her, like, if they're worried about she's going to lose everything, let her lose everything. Like, why? Like,
that is not a good look for girls that are white trash. Like to wind up with nothing. Like,
well, it's
how many celebrities out there though have pissed away their fortune and been left with nothing?
It's a great point.
Oh, there's a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, there was that moment where she was kind of in some trouble and Kevin Federline was taking the kids, and then she agreed to the conservatorship because it seemed like they were holding viewing rights to the kids, or rights to see the kids over her head. So whatever she did, whatever happened, or whatever manipulation was happening, like that was the moment where she either did something she should have held out from doing, or they were actually stepping in a way that, because we don't know what we don't know, where
we don't know what we don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but Jason, his point right here is that if there was something that severe that was going to take her away from her kids, he thinks it's really hard to believe that it wouldn't have leaked.
Yeah,
and I think that is very true, because she's just such a big figure, and that was such a big story at that time.
Well, this is what I was thinking. I was thinking it wasn't something so salacious. I was thinking it was something that the family was like, we're not going to talk about this. Like that happened with the family, and they're like, we're not going to. But we don't know. Like, yeah, because why did she have her kids taken away? Just her erratic behavior?
I guess.
Yeah, they kind of glossed over that a bit.
Casey.
Yeah, they didn't make it very clear. It's just that she like separated from, I think it was so quick. It was like she separated from him and filed for custody, and the next day he filed for full custody as well. And then she was seen out partying with like Paris Hilton and some other people.
Yeah, but she's young. She can party. You can have kids and party. Like, maybe it's not recommended for a new film, but like she can do that without breaking laws.
I also think that you're dealing with a Southern, probably Christian family. We're talking about like the 2000, basically around that era, 2001, 2002. So it doesn't seem that long ago, but it's still like, just you can see with the way the news were treating her and being so misogynistic, that there could be some real, like her going and partying and leaving the kids with the babysitter could have been the worst thing that her family or her parents or whomever.
No, but it's the court. You have to understand it's the court that made the decision, and the courts are like, whatever. But we have a listener that makes an interesting point. She says, so she has so little custody of her kids now because under conservatorship, the person can't take care of themselves. Therefore, they can't legally have full custody of their kids. Huh. That's interesting.
Kids must be old now too. Teenagers?
Easily.
I guess.
Yeah.
I think Aaron made a good point last night, just how social media kind of defanged the media in a way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
The documentary brought up this point. I just reiterated it. It's not mine. That
oh, like, you. I remember you saying it.
Well, it's like before social media, paparazzi would follow you around and make a story of what you're doing and what your life is. And now, like Britney, for example, maybe before the conservatorship, she could have her own social media account and post stuff of her own, like what she's doing, like how she wants to be represented. And that kind of puts paparazzi out of business in some ways, because they can't spin stories anymore because she's telling her own story to everybody directly.
That's true. And there is one story that we're telling that she apparently, a listener says she may have had an abortion with Justin. You heard it here first. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Juicy. Oh, and that career was too big and it would have ruined her image.
Justin Timberlake is a dirtbag too, because on that they play him on the radio station and they say, so the guy says, so did you sleep with Britney Spears? And instead of saying, shut up, dude, like he goes, yeah, I did. I hit that. Justin Timberlake's a douchebag. And motherfucker lost his looks. Any looks he ever had are gone now. And Britney's boyfriend now is 10 times better looking than Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake can take a dip in the river, bitch. Whatever that means.
I don't really care about Justin Timberlake.
Oh, he's gross.
But it was kind of disgusting seeing how, in retrospect, how he came through all of that stuff, seeming so great, and like it was, I don't know, he spun it so well to help himself, and she was thrown under the bus. It's really just disgusting, and I know people are interested in celebrities dating and those relationships, but it was really uncomfortable watching these reporters ask her about their relationship.
Yeah.
It was really messed up.
I mean, that does happen to every celebrity. As soon as they get into a celebrity relationship, it's all bets are off. Everybody's going to ask you about it and follow you around and try to get all the intimate details.
And I love celebrity gossip, and I've read, People magazine, and Us Weekly and all those things when I was growing up. But I don't know, it just was really coming off very badly to me last night.
David just went through 1,000 comments really quick, but there was a couple points ago, there was something. Are you able to go?
This?
Oh, just that. Yeah. So listeners saying that apparently Britney's dad, who has custody of the kids, is a really shitty dad. Allegations.
Yeah. And yeah, her current boyfriend hates him. And she keeps saying, I'm afraid of him. I'm afraid of my daddy. So it's like, I don't understand.
Wait.
I understand.
Is that Britney with that accent?
Yeah, I'm Britney. Hey, it's Britney, bitch. I'm going to sing a song now. All right, I have a whole twist on the whole thing. Well, it's actually an observation that I don't understand why nobody has made, but I'm going to make it. Because everybody knows I wrote a book, right? Do you remember what it's called?
Blonde, lesbian, slut, gangbang phenomenon of the 20th century.
That's right. Blonde bombshells, the lesbian blonde phenomenon of the 20th century. There are so many parallels in this. Like, I didn't see it because I didn't pay attention to Britney before. But there's so many parallels between Britney Spears and Marilyn Monroe and the way she was treated in the media, like, and the way it happened, the lead up and then the drop and all that, and even like the allegations of mental illness. It's so crazy, the similarities. And the one thing that I realized through this is that more than anyone else that's currently famous right now, Britney Spears, and this is why we're still talking about her. She has a similar vulnerability that Marilyn Monroe did. Because like if you look at the other girls, Madonna has zero vulnerability. Beyonce is not vulnerable. Her contemporaries, Christina Aguilera, is not vulnerable at all. It's like Britney Spears was so vulnerable. It like everybody attaches to her. And you know what I mean?
I can't say that in those interviews where she was being asked very personal questions about whether it was the paparazzi was upsetting her, or how her relationship was, or how people were viewing her, or how governors' wives or whatever were saying they should shoot her. She was breaking down like legitimate tears in a way that should be happening in therapy. She should be processing that stuff privately with a therapist rather than in an interview.
100%. And I would like to say, this is how I know I'm true, is that super fan Casey Hare, super Britney info guy says yes. And he goes on to say, she's the new Marilyn Monroe. And Judy, she doesn't remind me of Judy too much, but she reminds me of Marilyn Monroe because she's pretty and blonde. And there are a lot of other similarities too. They both developed this publicity monster that just grew and then lost control of it. Like it was just out of control, where it, like, you know, it was constant too. I will say that Marilyn Monroe's was bigger and she was more what's the word? She had a broader audience, like everyone, like, because it was more teenage, I feel like, with Britney than it was with Marilyn. And they both have that same mobbing by the paparazzi and then everything else. And then they had the same turn from their own people where they would talk about their mental health issues and stuff like that. They both got thrown under the bus. The thing that is different, here's the difference is that Marilyn Monroe had nobody. Britney had her family and she had some support that came along and they did the conservatorship. Who knows, like, if Britney does have the mental problems that they're talking about, who knows, like, if she would still be alive, or what would have happened to her if she would have gone the same way as Marilyn Monroe. I believe that Marilyn Monroe was murdered, so it might not have been the same thing. But we know more today. Like, we know more about mental health today, and people, like, there was more discussion. Like, back in the time of Marilyn Monroe, if you were considered like a doper or on drugs, there was no sympathy. It was like, oh, she's a doper, she's on drugs, like, gross, get rid of her. At least when it was happening to Britney, there was discussion of you know, mental health and stuff like that, and at least like the court stepped in and did whatever they did.
Yeah. One thing this is not related in any way, but it made me think of it. And maybe people that were big fans of Britney back in the day can answer this question. But a lot of the, especially the beginning of the film, was testimony, I want to say, just interviews from her super fans that are trying to help her get her out of this conservatorship. And they were talking about her impact on them when they were growing up. And like I said, I was like right in the age of Britney, like 99, I think she popped on the scene. That was the beginning of high school for me. So everyone was saying that, like, she made me feel like I could be myself, and I was a misfit and an outsider. She made me feel like I was like one of the crowd. It's like things like that. And I don't understand that, because she just, to me, just seems like, I mean, she's, as a human being, she seems fine, whatever. But like her persona was like, she was like a hot, popular girl in school. So I don't know why she was touching the lives of so many rejects. I was a reject. I was not touched by her.
I agree with you 100%. I agree. She was the pretty girl. Yeah, she was super pretty. She was super cute. She found success and fame like that. I have no clue how they related to her. I don't get it.
I'll take a stab at it.
All right.
Go ahead, Nathan.
I would say that her music just spoke to them in some way.
Oops, I did it again.
Like, for whatever reason, that music made them feel happy, and they found such joy in it that, you know, it spoke to whatever part of them that made them feel like life was worth living. Like, there's something this beautiful that I identify with and enjoy that makes all the shitty parts of my life acceptable because I have this. Okay.
If it's about the music, then I
totally.
Can't. I have no rebuttal. But if it's about her persona, who she's given herself off to be, that I don't understand.
To the day I die, I will never understand the deification of pop singers. I love pop singers. There are some that I'm obsessed with, but I will never get my life advice from these people and base my decisions on them. I will never understand it, and I will never understand the fighting and things. But I will say that I'm backed up by Britney superfan who says Marilyn was murdered. So that is a fact, people.
I'll take
100% fact.
I want to take another stab at the people who were saying that she made them feel complete in some way. So with Madonna did this too, you know, just like these pop stars who were so dance centric, they really embraced the homosexual community in a way that isn't represented. Oh my goodness, David, that isn't represented in other ways. So you see like these music videos where these dancers, these male dancers are so, you know, they're flamboyant, and to see that embraced and represented, I think could be part of it as well.
Here's also a comment from someone that is a fan that looked up to her as a dancer, which is 100% legitimate. She was a great dancer.
She's a cute dancer. Not only a good dancer, but a cute dancer.
I get that.
She was really good. You have to admit that. She was, yeah.
She was cute. She was better than what other people are. She was pretty. That's the best thing a person can be.
There you go.
Like, here's the deal. Like, I don't give a crap about her music that much, but I always liked her because she was pretty. Like, I could never get into Madonna because she's not pretty. I could never really get into Lady Gaga because she's not pretty. Britney was pretty. David. And that's the best thing a person can be.
David, you kind of sound like a monster when you say that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I feel like we could go on and on and on, but unless you have anything else to say, or our listeners have anything else that we haven't.
Oh my God. Here, let me go through. Okay, you guys watch the monitors and you guys comment. I'm going to rapid fire. There are so many comments. It's hard to keep up. Ready, go.
Are we reading them out loud?
No, you're going to comment if you like it. And then I'm just going to go. If you stop, I'm going to stop when you think you see something that you want to comment on.
What? There's a lot of stuff about dancing.
Yeah, you always dance your shit out when there's on the dance floor. That's why pop is important. I agree. Like, pop makes it's easy to dance to. It's fun. It's energetic. Like, that's what's great about pop.
That makes sense. Here, read that one.
Robin and Gaga, and I can't read that.
Riri.
and Beyonce.
Rihanna, bitch.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it's freeing. Yeah, I love Robin. I really enjoy Gaga. Drink, cute. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't want this to be over. Aw.
I know we have to have Casey on because he crazy.
Before we wrap up entirely, I do have to say that February does have 4 weeks in it. We only did 3 gold stars, so I have to add a 4th gold star for Black History Month.
Uh-oh.
It's the film The Last Dragon. I don't know. Familiar with this?
Nope.
But it came out in the mid 80s, maybe 85, and it starred Bruce. Main character was Bruce Leroy, who in Harlem. It's one of the best. It's such a great comedy martial arts film in the 80s. And Vanity was in it. I don't know, Vanity, if you're familiar with Vanity. She was.
Yes. What kind of a psychopath isn't familiar with Vanity? She's so pretty.
Barry Gordy Jr. produced it. So the founder of Motown Records, he was a producer and music advisor on it. It's a really great film. It has some of the greatest characters as Shogun or Shonuff. Oh my God, it's so good. Anyway, that deserves another gold star for Black History Month. Check it out. We'll post the trailer, and everyone will know. They'll know the power of the glow
and the power of vanity. This is an interesting comment from a strong young woman. This gives us like the full dimension of it. She says, as a super fan, back when she debuted, she had dimensions. When she was on, she was strong and in control and powerful and sexy. But in interviews, she was sweet and funny and relatable. So that gives us an insight to why people, and that's very, very Marilyn Monroe too.
Yeah, no, that's a good answer.
Yeah, that makes you understand why they relate to her.
Yeah, I mean, I just so people know where I'm coming from. I listen to rock and roll. That's all. Like,
yeah,
I didn't dance to pop music. Like I headbanged in the corner in like people's basements while metal played. Like that's who I was. So I feel disconnected from a lot of this world. So it's good to get into.
Yeah, it's not my type of music at all. But like I said, she's cute and Toxic. I like Toxic a lot, actually.
I mean, Toxic's good. I used to listen to Casey Kasem's Top 40 every Sunday when I could. Usually after church, I catch the last 5 or so songs or 2 or 3 songs. It was always exciting to see who was at the top of the charts. But I was also listening to not heavy metal, but scores to movies.
I understand. And we are doing a service, as Hooligan Mama points out, that she wants to thank us for entertaining conversation while she prepares dinner for her family.
Well, you know
so
what, everyone, we do have a very special surprise tonight.
Yes.
We've never actually done before.
What's that?
Yes.
Somebody
I have good news. We have good news for you, Casey. It's not going to end. We're going to play the outro, but we're coming right back with more. So don't go anywhere, everybody. We're coming right back.
Yep, we are.
So this is how we're going to end it. This is how we're going to end it. Are you guys ready? We're going to all 3 say it at the same time. Are you guys ready? Wait, hold on. Nobody go anywhere. Listeners, don't go anywhere. Okay, are you guys ready? I'm going to count to 3, and then we're all 3 going to say it at the same time. 1, 2, 3. It's Britney, bitch. Okay, we're going to do it again. We're not signing off until we get it right. 1, 2, what?
You really jumped the gun here.
For
our podcast. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Check out our Facebook page, Instagram account at @unimaginaryfriend. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave us a review and some stars. We appreciate it. Now we can do it, David.
Okay.
The Unimaginary Friendcast.
All right, everybody, we're back. All right, forget it. We don't have to play the whole thing. We're back, everybody.
Yay. Welcome to the Unimaginary Friendcast. This is live stream episode 264. 264. This is a conversation with your socially distanced best friends, and we are those best friends.
I am Nathan Vaughn Edmondson.
Aaron Marie Betty Davis Jr.
Wait, oh God, this is so hard. Okay, wait. This is Nathan Von Edmondson. This is Aaron Marie Betty Davis Jr. And I am your favorite host of all, DavidMaster.com.
All right. So this is the first time we're ever doing 2 live stream episodes in a row. So we're very excited about it. This is very, very new. But this is part 1 of a 2-part series that we're going to do. Not tonight. This is going to be our last one for tonight. But we're going to be blowing the lid off of birth. Yeah, that thing that happened for all of us to be here. Yeah, we all shot out of somebody's vagina at some point. And
nice.
Blowing the lid off of it sounds a little weird, but unless you've had to do it yourself or you are some kind of vagina expert doctor, you probably don't know much about it. And spoiler alert, there's lots of crazy shit that happens. And
we have some mothers in the room, so they'll back your shit up. And we do have Casey Hare that's here. Somehow he knew we were going to live stream right now, and he says, yes, bitch, tell it. Tell about your pregnancy, bitch.
She.
Casey's a she? Sorry, go ahead.
David, yeah.
Sorry.
Bring it back. I know we're excited for this episode. So we're going to mainly kind of focus on human birth, but we're also going to get into some like really crazy information about other species and how it compares. And I don't want to give this away, but one of us, I'm not going to say who, is going to give birth in a week. So, I mean, I know it's really hard to guess who, but it's actually could be any day now, but probably in a week or so. And so part 2 of this series is going to be birth, the aftermath. So what actually happened as opposed to like, I don't fucking know what actually happened. But anyway, that's that. That's today. But first.
Oh God, this is so hard.
You can do it. Oh, look at that.
What do you got, Nathan? What's your news?
Let's see. What's the news? So I guess I'll stay in the theme of our podcast episode. I recently read, my mother journaled before and after my birth and provided almost pretty much play-by-play for the 5 days around when I was born. I just read that last night. It was really satisfying to see like a little glimpse into what her and my father and my older brother's lives were like in those 4 or 5 days. What she was thinking, how the hospital staff was treating her and reacting to things, the procedures they were doing at the time and 40 some years ago.
Giving him brain damage. They sort of kept x-raying her.
Yeah. I had a few x-rays right before I was born, which I don't know if that's something you should be doing with a child as they're about to be born. Who knows? Probably not. You're right, David. Yeah, so that was really satisfying. And, with the birth of this child soon arriving, I've started having dreams about her. And I've had 2 dreams so far. One where she's like a fully grown adult and, like in her 20s probably and like 6'5" or something. And the other where she was just an infant and I was running around, flipping her around in her carrier. And Aaron was yelling at me because, you shouldn't flip the baby's carrier upside down. And that's what I was doing while running down steps. So I'll be a great father.
Sounds like it to me.
So someone wants us to name the kid on the air. We're probably not going to do that, but we will take suggestions. But what I am going to need from you shortly, not yet, is I need all of your predictions on the due date because there's going to be big prizes for whoever gets it. Big prizes.
What's the actual due date?
March 3rd.
March 3rd? Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, David, do you want to go first with news or me?
No, you go.
Me. Okay. So I decided kind of last minute that I was going to join a cult. Yeah.
You already did. It's called Being a Mom.
I haven't joined that one yet. No, it's I don't know if you've heard of it. It's the Von Edmondson Club.
And what happens in the Von Edmondson Club?
Or a cult, rather. I just joined, so I'm still waiting to figure it out. But I officially added that name onto my name.
Did you hyphenate?
No, I have 2 last names.
Wait, what? Say it again.
No, I have 2 last names.
She's always enjoyed making collections, so now she started a collection of last names.
So it's Aaron Marie Betty Davis Jr. Von Edmondson?
Yeah.
Wow. But you didn't do the hyphen?
No, because
why not?
So the benefit of the 2 last names is that I can go by either one. So usually anything that has to do with our kid moving forward, I'll probably use the same last name that we'll all have. But anything doing with my career, I'm going to keep Davis since that's already established. And you can do either, really, except if I'm filling out the legal form, you have to include both. But when you hyphenate, that's one name. So it has to always be together. So. Oh,
yeah, that's lame then.
You did research, yeah. Okay.
I did, yeah. So I can kind of go like decide who I am, like who I'm feeling I am each day. I can wake up and be like, I'm a Davis today. Like I'm an Edmondson.
No, that's true. That's true. And I've known hyphenated people and they're a pain in the ass. I knew this one guy who I was literally like, hey, this is, introducing Aaron Davis Von Edmondson. This is Justin Johnson. And he's like, it's Justin Meldal Johnson. Like you have to say it every time. And it's just like, shut up. You're just meeting someone. You idiot, you faggot, you bitch. Oh God. Hyphenated people are the worst. You're right.
Well, I wasn't going to go through the hassle because it's a big ass hassle. I was at the DMV for 2.5 hours yesterday. But I would have to get a note from Nathan in some circumstances proving that she's my daughter if we're traveling alone together overseas because trafficking laws if you don't have the same last name. And I'm like, I'm not dealing with that shit. I'd rather just make this legal change now. And
which name is ahead of which name? Is it Davis Von Edmondson or Von Edmondson Davis?
Davis Von Edmondson.
Oh, okay. So you're a little bit of a feminist, but not fully.
Accurately describes me. I'm pretty feminist.
We have a lot of, before I get into my news, we have a lot of guesses on the date. So I don't know if you guys want to record them.
March 8th is actually my prediction. So
really?
I think you're in good company.
So you guys should record them to see who gets it right, because I won't remember.
I will record.
It's already being recorded for posterity.
March 2nd, March 5th.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, there's going to be big prizes. Big prizes. So, yes.
Well, I had news, but it's kind of, I should have done it last time because it's kind of, it's not funny at all. It's kind of depressing. And I'm only sharing because I think we should do something about it. I think it's a topic we should talk about because I don't know what to do. And I think it affects all of us. It sounds even kind of weird but it's affected me in a weird way. And I don't even know why, but this is what happened. There's a guy who used to live on the street, like 2 blocks from us. And he lived in a doorway. And he was kind of famous around here, and people would bring him food and stuff. But he would always be there. And a couple weeks ago, I walked by him, and it was really cold. And I was thinking, like, what can I? He would never look at me, so I would go to the market and I would buy water sometimes. And I would think, should I give it to him or should I not give it to him? Well, anyways, last week I walked by, and there's all these candles and like flowers and stuff put up with his name in the doorway, and he passed away. And it's just like I want to do something on homelessness and to figure it out, and like what do we do, and like how do you, because I thought like the day I walked by when it was cold, I was like, I don't have anywhere to have him sleep, but how do you like find a place for someone to sleep on a cold night? And that's all.
to him?
What?
Do they know what happened to him?
I have not heard. That's just, I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, if you could solve the homelessness problem, you'd probably be the most popular person in the United States because it's a huge problem.
Yeah, no. So we should talk about that on a future episode, and everybody can weigh in and all that stuff and whatever. All right, I'm sorry. That's it. I'm sorry. Brought it down. Let's just end the show right now.
No, moving on to the Gold Star. We have a great Gold Star this week.
Oh yeah.
The floating research station. David, you are going to have to describe what the hell this is.
It's just, you got to look it up, and we should post a picture of it because it's immensely cool and out of control. And scientists from different countries designed this floating station. And it's a woman who's the main designer behind it, or credited for it, Ilana Vishmankanabaramanich. And she's like Russian or something. I don't know. But you got to look it up. It's a floating. And what they're going to be doing is studying climate change. And they're also going to be, there's parts of it that they're going to be studying how to clean up the ocean, and it all will also clean it up. You have to look at it. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie, 100%. It doesn't look like anything we can accomplish today, but they did it, and it's amazing. And I just want to say that it's amazing with all the crap that goes on. Like, there's a lot of good stuff going on that we don't hear about. Like, how is that not on the news? Like, how is that not the headline? But no, it has to be about fucking Trump. And like, Britney Spears was a headline on the news. It's like, but no, they didn't talk about how people are actually trying to do something about something, right?
Yeah, well, that doesn't get ratings.
The human race is so disgusting and despicable. It really just is. And I want you guys to apologize for it right now.
I'm sorry, David. Maybe we should just do topics that are inspiring and awesome things that people are doing in the world, as opposed to the negative headlines.
All right. Let's do it.
So I think we should move forward into our main topic, which is birth. And I'm going to lead us through the first part of this topic. And I just want a disclaimer to everyone. I have no idea. I've never done this before. So it's not like I'm some kind of expert. But I do know some really cool shit I'm going to share with you, and I'm really excited about.
I do need to interrupt you really fast, though, that the Queen of the Von Edmondsons officially welcomed you to the cult.
The matriarch, yes. Thank you. I feel very welcome. This is my first.
Thank you, Nan.
Very excited. So this was actually where I was going to ask for everyone's bets, because I have a few stats that might tweak your guesses. But if you already wrote them down in the chat, then you're screwed. So only 5% of babies are actually born on their due date.
Whoa.
So anyone that chose third, I don't know.
5%. Well, we do have, if it's born on March 10th, it's going to share the birthday with Osama bin Laden. Did you know that?
That is the best news I've ever heard.
Wow.
So 50% of babies are born within a week, either before or after the due date, so that you have better chances. And 90% are born within 2 weeks of that date. So, which is like that's like a month. So it'd be hard to nail it down. But apparently the most popular days for babies to be born are Tuesdays, followed by Mondays. So if that changes your bet, I don't know what to tell you. You already wrote in the chat.
I'm going to say that's because there's the relaxation of a weekend that leads to childbirth.
Ooh.
That's pretty funny. Does anyone here know what day they were born on?
I mean, no, I don't.
I just read
He just read his birth story.
I just read my birth story. And I want to say it was a Monday, but let me see if I can find it. You can continue and I'll let you know.
All right. Unlike what you see on TV, that only 1 in 10 mothers actually, their water breaks. Like, that's not a common thing. And some people actually give birth without their water breaking. Like, the babies are still in the sac when it comes out. I'm not going to encourage you all to watch birth videos, because you got to be in a certain frame of mind to be okay with that. But it is fascinating to watch a baby come out in their sac. Crazy.
I was born on a Monday.
Oh, look at that. He's a stat. He's
There you go.
just every other baby born on a Monday or Tuesday.
I just found out. Sorry, I just found out some shocking news. On the day I was born, Anne Frank was sent to the concentration camp. But go ahead, keep going, keep talking.
Yeah, there's no way that's true.
David's.
I just looked it up.
Moving on. David is not that old.
We gotta.
I was born on a Thursday. Sorry, go ahead.
Babies have no kneecaps when they're born.
What?
I know they're cute. They're the little pudginess. Like
it takes them
they
about
have
6
they're all
months.
chubby. Like sorry, go ahead.
It takes them about 6 months to actually like put together their kneecaps.
I had no idea. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, and also babies when they're really really young, if they smile, it's not actually attributed to like a responsive smile to something you're doing. It's their reaction to gas.
So that's ingrained in us to laugh and smile when someone farts.
That's true.
Oh.
So it could take up to 6 weeks for your baby to actually smile because they have something to smile about and they're not just very flatulent. So are we missing any good comments here? I was a grape and life stomped on me and now I am just wine. Very profound. Very profound. Babies actually can't cry when they're born. They can scream and yell for what they want, but they actually can't produce tears. And it sometimes takes up to 4 to 5 months for them to actually be able to cry the way we cry. So they yell, but they can't like.
When do they start crying? Because
4 to 5 months to produce.
Oh, 4 to 5 months. Really? Because I remember like little. All right, that's fine. Wait, Hooligan Mama, who was born on Tuesday. We need to ask you: can kids cry before 4 months?
Oh my God! Am I gonna?
She had 2 kids.
Tuesday?
Maybe.
Shit. Newborn babies have more bones than adults. They have 300 bones. Adults only have 206 because apparently they're like broken up and they fuse together as they grow.
That's so creepy.
What the heck is this thing?
I don't know. We're gonna have one. It's terrifying. I think they're aliens.
Dude, there's a little girl inside you, and then like in a couple weeks, the doctor's gonna be like, "We need to get this kid out of her," and it's gonna be like, "Oh, there was a kid inside of you. There's a person inside of you." That's so weird. Go ahead.
Somebody says here that they were born on a Saturday because their family wanted to get the birth over with so that they could go see Dennis Miller and John Lovitz on Saturday Night Live.
Oh my God, your family has really bad taste.
John Lovitz is one of the funniest comedians in Saturday Night Live history.
Say anything, make any joke, or say anything he ever said ever.
What did he do? I don't remember anything, David, so I can't tell you.
See.
Okay, so what was the heaviest baby ever born? This is trivia.
Say the heaviest?
The heaviest, like the
22 pounds.
How did you know that?
I looked it up.
Right.
That's a giant turkey.
I was 7 pounds 7 ounces. Do you guys know how big you were?
Yeah, 7.5 or something like that.
21 pounds.
Pregnant ladies have 50% more blood in their body.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
So, but like that's why they say like you glow, which is like I was like, what? That's kind of bullshit. But the extra blood shows up through your skin and the cheeks and actually like creates softer, shinier skin. So like that's where the glowing term comes from.
That's funny.
So,
so they do glow then. Is she look at her, Nathan? Is she glowing?
Always. So pregnant women must be a delight for vampires.
I never thought about that, but I think you're right. So I don't know if you've seen these videos of what happens if you toss a baby in water.
Excuse me?
Wait, who's tossing babies in water?
Up on YouTube.
I have seen this.
So there's a whole bunch of videos where a guy will like dunk a baby and then there's an underwater camera. They have natural instincts to hold their breath and their heart rate slows down. Like they can survive underwater. Like not to say that anybody should be putting their baby underwater, but it's like absolutely crazy that they can put them under and they're go.
I used to teach kids how to swim, and then a couple times I taught like baby classes with moms and babies. There's a certain point, when they're super young, the water's nothing. It's a certain point, I'd say around 6 or 8 months to a year, where they start getting scared. Before that, they don't care. You can do whatever you want with them in the water, and they're totally fine.
This I'm talking about like newborns that have no.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, even like up to 3 months and stuff, they're cool in the water. As long as the mom doesn't freak out, they're cool in the water. So what I'm saying is I'm backing up what you said, but go ahead.
Babies can actually breathe and swallow at the same time. Which when I read that, I was like, we can do that. And then I tried and we can't do that. You can't actually swallow and take a breath at the same time.
That seems dangerous, to breathe and swallow at the same time.
Well, they suck on your boob for like an hour at a time. So they have to.
Ew. I know that's natural and everything, but it's so creepy that you're going to sit around feeding your baby out of your boobs. It's so weird.
Thanks, David.
You're welcome.
All right. What's the youngest mother ever recorded?
8.
I think it was 9. Oh, go ahead. 7?
5?
5 years old.
Was it in Italy?
1939 in Peru.
Oh, in Peru?
Yep.
That's so. How old was the father?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know.
That's so creepy.
I think somebody just exclaimed, "Oh, David," because of your breastfeeding comment.
Well, it's weird. Come on. It's weird when you think about it. Just the whole everything a human body does is weird. But go ahead.
I agree with you, David. We live in this world and this body and everything's normalized because what else is there? But if you actually think about what a human body is and what it does, it's crazy.
Thank you.
That's why we're doing this topic, because this shit's crazy. What is the longest amount of time someone's been pregnant?
Is that pregnancies?
No.
Or one pregnancy?
One pregnancy.
I read this too. It was almost a year.
375 days.
Yeah. A little over a year, yeah.
Only like 7 some pounds.
How?
I don't know.
That must have been before they would induce.
For sure, yeah. I don't have the year for that.
That also makes me wonder how accurate their timing was.
But I read that it's not uncommon for women to have 10-month and 11-month pregnancies. It's not normal, but it's not completely uncommon.
Let that happen anymore.
I also
maybe not.
It's true that they say you're pregnant for 9 months, but really it's more like 10 months.
It is 10 months. It's 40 weeks.
Yeah, so we think it's 9 months, but it's actually 10 months.
It's just because the first month is nothing. It's like still, they count it from the last day of your menstrual cycle. So like you're not pregnant for that first 3 weeks, but that's considered part of your pregnancy. So
okay.
Anyway, do you know what's the record for giving births in a lifetime?
Ew, probably like 25 or 30.
Oh no.
Really? 40. Wait a minute. 42. 50.
50? More? 60?
Really sexy number.
69?
69.
Wait a minute. How is that even possible?
In the 18th century, she had 27 pregnancies, 16 pairs of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 quadruplets.
Who is this person?
The most beautiful woman in the world.
She must have just had no pelvic floor anymore. At a certain point, it just melts away and her babies just shoot out.
Oh.
She had one birth where 4 of them came out at once.
Yeah,
that's so creepy. Because one of my friends in high school, and Hooligan Mama will know him, had 12 brothers and sisters, and she was pregnant the last time I saw him. She had 13 pregnancies. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to know who this person is and how they were able to have 69 kids. All those kids didn't survive. But if half of them survived, that's a lot of kids.
It's like what like fish do. Don't they have like 7 million babies?
Yeah, they just pop them out. That's so creepy.
So I have a few stats now. I wasn't going to get into this stuff, but it's stuff that really irks me. So I kind of wanted to start the conversation.
Okay.
Kind of the shitty side of all this. That the U.S. has the highest first-day infant death rate in the industrialized world. We also 60th in maternal health and mortality. And it's really one of 8 countries that has actually seen a rise in maternal mortality, like mothers dying. Like it's going up. And we have the most expensive, it costs the most in our country to have a baby, and we have worse outcomes than most countries.
Do they say why? Do they give a reason why?
Why we have worse outcomes?
Yeah, why the mortality rate's going up and stuff.
That's like a whole podcast.
Oh wow.
Okay. I don't think I'm going to right now.
Yeah, the stats are scary. The reasons behind it is like a lot to unpack, I'm sure.
Yeah, we don't do that great.
Wait a minute, I thought we were the greatest country in the world.
In the 15th century in Europe, childbirth was considered so dangerous that the second you got pregnant, you had to make out a will. Standard procedure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have the longest labor of any mammal. Like, I think the second is chimpanzees, which is like a fraction of what humans go through.
Do you know how long that is for chimps?
Well, so they track it in minutes. There's a graph here. So humans, they have 800 minutes, which is not helpful. I wish they would put that in hours or days. Chimpanzees is 100.
100, so 3 hours. No, 2 hours.
He's valedictorian. I can't do math.
Less than 2 hours. 100 minutes. Wow. Ugh.
I think part of the reason, David, you asked about why do we have such bad outcomes. 95% of women that go to the hospital to give birth are considered low risk and able to give birth normally, but actually only 2% of them do because of all the drugs and interventions that they're kind of pressured to get for various reasons. So.
Oh, that's interesting.
All mammals actually eat their placentas after they're born.
That's hideous.
David, do you want to come over for our placenta eating party?
No, I went to one once. It smells hideous. I wouldn't eat it, and it smells hideous. It smells hideous when it's cooking. It smells like really rotten liver.
Are you serious? They cooked the placenta?
Yeah, and I will never go to one again, and I should have left. I was being there supportive, but never again.
How were they cooking it?
I don't remember. I just remember the smell was it was like rotten liver. That's what it smelled like. Rotten liver.
Can you get the recipe for us?
Ew.
I think we're gonna toss ours, but
bury it with a tree or whatever. Let it feed a tree or something.
That's a good idea.
Okay, any guesses on the quickest labor and the longest labor humans ever had?
I know the quickest.
What?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. And
2 minutes? Where it just came out, just flew out.
It was like I'm having a baby and literally had a baby in 2 minutes. Seriously, like labor started and the baby was out in 2 minutes.
Yeah, fingers
That's
crossed.
what my mom claims too. But go ahead, yeah.
That's my hope and dream.
And then the longest labor is probably something like a week or something.
Oh, way longer.
3 weeks.
A month?
Longer.
What?
75 days.
That doesn't make any sense.
When and where was this?
I don't know.
Wait, we don't have any more comments from our listeners. Are they getting upset?
Well, how about this one? This is it's possible to have an orgasm while you give birth. Like as the baby's coming out.
Are you gonna do that?
Maybe that's what Britney did, why they had to have the conservatorship. There was
Britney.
Really?
Poor Britney.
I mean, that's the plan, David. I would love that. They could have an orgasmic birth.
With all those people around you and their hands inside your vagina.
Yeah. And the last thing I'm going to say, and this, David, was for you when I found this. that in the Middle Ages, women in labor were expected to make cakes, and they called them groaning cakes because they were groaning as they were making the cakes.
What kind of cake? They were expected to make the cakes? Like, bitch, you better get in the kitchen and make a groaning cake, bitch.
Yep, apparently.
It was probably a way to try and get them to distract themselves in pre-labor.
But it was like so specific to cake, which, I don't know. This seemed like a rule that David made up for women.
Well, yeah, bitch better make my cake, right? Nathan, tell her. Look at her and tell her, bitch better get in the kitchen and make my cake.
Only a lemon cake for you, David.
Oh, with jam in it and raisins.
I don't mind that. Oh, I have to tell you. So our listeners are saying they're listening. Hooligan Mama is still listening.
Now, these are all fascinating facts. I think everyone just is like, wow, wow.
Yeah, they're like, wow. Keep going, Aaron. Go. Ready? Go.
I think that everyone's just picturing their moms, then birthing them, and everyone's getting.
God, my mother is so disgusting.
I have more, but I feel like I'm gonna wear out my welcome if I keep going.
Give us
no, I'm interested. Keep going. Ready? Go.
All right. There was no such thing as like pain relief in childbirth until Queen Victoria asked to inhale chloroform while she was and from that on, it was like standard to give like women like some kind of drug, to the point where like in the beginning of the 19th century they were giving women heroin.
Were they ever,
why not?
Were they ever giving women cocaine? Like cocaine was a popular drug.
I don't know. Yeah, probably.
I wonder if they're doing lines of cocaine well.
Yeah.
Or however they did it. Sips. I don't know.
The first time that there was a successful C-section that the woman and the mom and baby survived was 1500, year 1500.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
There's a really fun movie is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, starring Kevin Costner. Morgan Freeman is in it. It was the first film that I saw Morgan Freeman in. I was like, wow, who is this guy? He's so amazing. And Morgan Freeman's character performed section, and he's from an Arab country, and he goes back with Robin Hood, Kevin Costner's character, to Sherwood Forest or whatever. I guess Robin Hood saves his life, and he's like, he's like what do they call it? What you're like, he's like he saved his life. He's like not betrothed, but he's committed to him to save his life, and then he's released from that bond to go back to his family. And another character is having it's a breech birth actually, and he's like, oh, I know what to do. And they're like, well, how do you know? He's like, well, I've seen it down on horses. And then they do it, and they both survive. And that kind of is that era. So
that sounds fun. You should get that horse doctor to deliver your baby, Aaron. we have a disgruntled listener, Nathan, and they're mad at you particularly. It's CB Actor Traveler says, I asked during the last hour, but my question was not answered. But using a word like tutelage, wasn't Nathan valedictorian?
I was salutatorian.
You were what?
I was number 2. I was the poop.
Oh, so he was not as smart as you think, CB Actor Traveler.
Segues into my next fact, which is that most women poop while they're giving birth. Yay!
Ugh, women are so filthy. Literally, yeah. This backs up my claim. I've said this before on this podcast. I'm going to say it again. In this whole world, there's nothing worse than a mother. But go ahead, Aaron.
I want to know what our guests, our listeners' question was that wasn't answered. I missed that.
That was it. They asked,
okay.
Wasn't when you used it tutelage in the last hour, and then he asked, isn't Nathan a valedictorian? But you never answered.
Sorry. Yep.
So we're sorry, CB Actor Traveler. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you said you wanted to talk about other species?
I do have facts. You don't have any more facts?
I do, but I know that we're being mindful of time these days.
How many more do you have? You want to run through them real quick?
I can. Let's see. Newborn babies can hear and smell and feel to the same degree that we can.
Oh, I didn't know that.
are as sensitive as us as adults. But their brains don't process everything because everything is new.
Dumb baby.
It hasn't built the pathways, David.
Uh-oh, we have a fight going on. Hooligan Mama says, David, mothers rock. Because she's a mother.
Do you know when you're pregnant why your sense of smell and taste gets sharper?
I do.
I don't. Why is that?
So you don't ingest rotten food?
Pretty much, yeah. You become hyper protective against potential toxins that could be dangerous to your fetus.
Did you experience that as a mother?
He doesn't want me to poop when I'm in labor. I'm gonna try for you, Glenn.
I have a feeling Aaron's gonna try to poop.
I'm gonna think about Glenn in that moment and be like, God, just gonna hold it. I'm really gonna hold it.
My chant for Aaron is gonna be, poop it out, poop it out.
Wait, Aaron, have you experienced a heightened smell where certain smells disgust you? And
no, not really. I feel like I always had a really strong sense of smell, and it just seemed to kind of carry through.
have you had any food that you used to like that it grosses you out now, or have you had any cravings?
No.
Are you going to have a baby?
No, I had a really, really like easy pregnancy. I don't know if like birth is going to be an absolute disaster because I got so lucky these last 9-10 months. I don't know.
I know the answer to that,
What?
actually. It's not going to be a disaster. It's going to be a really easy,
Oh, good.
quick birth.
Good. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I'm going to try to break the world record.
2 minutes. You're going to 2 and 2, baby. 2 and 2. 2 and 2, baby. That's good. Yeah, just let it flop her on out.
Yeah.
Nathan, I think I'm having other babies here.
But she won't cry because she can't cry.
She'll
Good.
scream. Hooligan Mama already told us that they scream.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the only way they communicate, which is really annoying. Anyway. Yeah, let's see. In the Netherlands and Japan, pretty much all women choose not to take any sort of medication during labor.
Really?
And it's like it's not uncommon. Like most other countries, like you're encouraged to. They don't scare mothers about labor. Like here, like all you hear about horror stories. You hear about how much it's gonna hurt. You see like, on the TV. So we're fed this narrative about what birth should be and how miserable it is, and from a biblical point of view, it's like a punishment to women. And like most other civilized places, like this is just like a transformation that your body's going through that's completely natural, and women kind of embrace it and are strong and deal with it.
I think that though that's changing because every woman I knew had natural birth. They didn't do drugs, or they had minimal. The minimal where it's like at the end or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. It's not the majority anymore in our country, for sure.
Wait, what? I don't understand. We have a comment that I don't understand. Can one of you guys read it and then explain it to me?
Really, the fact that you're not a Britney fan and you're about the Free Britney movement speaks, dude.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Well, we have a question. Wondering what the plans for the podcast are once the true decider arrives. Is that a baby name option?
Well, we're going to have a new host who will be reading, doing the intro and the outro. So,
well, funny you should ask. That is a reason why we're doing 2 episodes tonight, just in case I go into 2-minute labor tomorrow. We'll have something to put out.
Maybe you shouldn't have put out before you put. I don't know. Whatever. I didn't get the correct wording right at all. Yeah.
Do this until we die. So
I want to have the baby right there. I don't see why. Look at everybody who's watching the video. You can see Aaron can have the baby right next to her while we're doing the podcast. I don't see why not.
We might just go live once I go into labor.
Yeah.
We should. Nobody's done that yet. Can you do that? Can you set it up, Nathan? Why don't we do that? Listeners, would you tune in to see Erin live stream her birth?
Maybe not the juicy shots, just the.
No, even just her face.
So we have a. Do you know that YouTube banned the word poop in comments, but you can say shit until your lungs fall out?
That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah, that makes very little sense.
Cool. So, David, anything that you want to share about this topic?
I do have the facts. Erin told me to look up facts for other species. You guys read the comments while I.
Casey just.
The
listener clarified the last statement about you not being a fan, but being a supporter of Britney, and that it just means you're an amazing person, basically.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Hooligan Mama wants to guess the birth date. Yes, you can guess, and if you get it right, Hooligan Mama, you win a big prize. Erin has a big prize for you. Oh, Nate, Queen of the Von Edmondson cult says yes, go live. She has spoken. Can you set it up, Nathan?
Apparently, my birth is audio recorded.
Oh.
So we could just listen to my birth.
This is what you can do. Why don't you do a split screen like this? We go live. You guys can screw around, do whatever you do birth, and I can like MC the whole thing. I can just keep talking through the birth while you guys are doing whatever you do birth-wise. How about that? And don't videotape the actual birth. Don't videotape her vagina as a baby's coming out of it. That nobody wants to see that.
There's one exception to that. So I forget that there's all these different positions. The babies goes down through the like they work their way through the pelvis in, and there's optimal positions and positions that aren't optimal because it becomes harder for them to fit and maneuver, and they like go and turn, and like there's anyway, it's all complicated. But there's one position, I can't remember the name, where the baby comes out face first, and it's much harder for the mom. It's like harder to push, and it's harder, like she can get injured. So it's not what you want. But if you want to watch, if you're going to ever watch a birth, watch that because it's so wild to see. So like baby face first coming out.
That's so creepy.
Can't describe it in any other way. You just have to see it for yourself.
All our listeners are saying yes, live stream the birth. Yes, live stream the birth. So I think that you guys are pretty much, yeah.
So we have to, I guess.
So you're locked in.
Locked in. Gotta do what the listeners want. March 9th.
Ooh, Hooligan Mama says March 9th. So write that down.
That's my guess.
That was Nathan's guess.
So they'll have to share. You could have to share with Nathan. All right, here are my facts. In the animal world, what animal has the longest gestation period, and how long is it?
Elephants, 22 months.
Wow, how did you know that?
Who doesn't know that?
Ew, it's called face presentation, what the listener says, when the baby comes out face first. What if your baby comes out purse first? Nobody will know that. Nobody will know that I'm the only person. Are there any listeners that understand what it means when a baby comes out purse first? If you do, comment, please. What's the shortest gestation period?
Ooh, like a minute?
6 weeks.
No, you're not even close. It's the Virginian possum, which I don't know why. I don't know. I didn't know that there was more than one kind of possum. It's 12 to 14 days.
What?
I know, that's a hurry up process right there. Okay. I don't know how to ask this in a form of a question. Okay, do you know what kind of animal drops their baby from 6 feet?
Oh,
Giraffe.
Is it?
Yes, it's a giraffe, and the umbilical cord severs at that point. And how long does it take before the giraffe can get up and walk?
10 seconds.
No, it takes about 20 minutes. So how fast before your baby gets up and walk after you poop her out?
10 seconds.
Human babies are so immature when they're born. They're actually still gestating for another 3 months. Like they should actually still be in your body because. So yeah, it's gonna be wild.
Okay.
Bones.
Yeah.
What do elephants' mothers do if their baby isn't breathing or unresponsive?
Kick them.
How'd you know that? You know everything. All right,
we have a March 7th guess. An easy birth and beautiful child. I will be. I want, yes. If it takes to, if I have to wait till March 11th, but it's easy and the child's beautiful, then yes. And yeah.
What would you do? Okay, obviously you're not going to say it, you're not going to acknowledge it, but what do you do? The baby comes out, the baby's ugly as hell. How do the Von Edmondses respond to that?
All are. Have you ever seen a newborn baby?
All right, the baby gets to be like 9 months, a year, even 2 years old, ugly as sin. What do you guys do?
I think that as parents, you don't see it. Like, your baby's beautiful. Like, there's like, especially for moms, like there's actual, like, the way your baby smells, like, produces hormones. And there's like studies of like as a mom, you can just look at your baby for like 24 hours straight, and it's the most fascinating thing ever. So it's like the mom instincts are so strong. I think that you wouldn't even see if your baby was ugly. So I'm going to count on all of you to let us know if our child is ugly, because we might not see it.
You're going to have people tell you. So if your baby is ugly, you'll treat it just like a normal child?
We'll see. Personality, then I think she would deserve that, right?
Yeah. Well, let's hope. Yeah, if your baby's ugly, try to teach it to have a good personality. Okay, we're going to get into the dumbest animal. What's the only mammal what's the only animal on the planet that cannot give birth by itself?
Humans. No.
Humans are the dumbest animals. Humans are the only animals that cannot give birth by themselves. There are some breeds of dogs that humans have changed that can't give it by themselves, but humans are the only animals that cannot give birth by themselves.
You can, though. Have you ever watched The Handmaid's Tale?
No, but I mean, like, other animals can do it so easily, and it's not a big deal. Like, if you had to give birth by yourself, you would freak out. And you might pass out too. Women pass out during birth and stuff. There's the only other instance of helping is there's a species of monkey that they've observed. The other monkeys come by and act as midwives, but it's not a primate. It's a monkey. And no primates help. The mothers go off by themselves and give birth and come back, which I thought was strange. I thought like chimpanzees would help each other or something. Didn't you guys?
I never really thought about it, to be honest.
Yeah,
I never really thought about it. Okay, what's the longest mammal that nurses? What's the longest time of nursing that a mammal does?
Human.
And what's the mammal?
Human.
Nope, not even close.
I don't know.
Chimpanzee.
You're getting closer.
Whales, maybe?
Nope, it's the orangutan who nurses their child for 6 to 7 years.
Humans do too. At least.
Are you going to do that? Are you going to nurse your child when they're 6 or 7 years old?
No, but that's. I don't think that'll be my choice, but that is the choice of some women.
It's funny because the mother's milk is so designed for brain development, especially. And it's funny because in Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard said that mother's milk is the worst thing for the baby, that you should not give a baby mother's milk. Instead, he has a barley formula where you soak barley oats.
Really?
And there's so many Scientologists that swear by it. And then I've had fights with somebody be like, why would you listen to L. Ron Hubbard for medical advice? Because he knows everything. It's like, no, a mother's milk is exactly designed to help, especially in the development of the brain. So it's really sad. There's a whole bunch of people that aren't doing it. Yeah, go ahead.
I just exclaimed in horror.
It's very sad. What kind of an idiot would listen to him? All right. What's the shortest mammal nursing period? And this is unbelievable. Go ahead.
A day.
Close. It's 4 days. It's the hooded seal that nurses for 4 days, giving 22 liters of milk a day.
What?
To these puppies, and then they quadruple their size in 4 days.
Wow.
That doesn't seem possible.
It does not seem possible, does it?
Fat cells just expand. This must be it.
Yeah. The listeners have proclaimed me birth expert, and I would have to agree.
He's being sarcastic, but That's just my guess.
Okay, the lady emperor penguin will leave their nest for weeks at a time to go find food because they're so stupid. They live in the Arctic Circle or the Southern Arctic, whatever. I forget what it's called. Antarctic, right? Yeah, Antarctica. Yeah. So they have to leave because they're just in snow and there's no food. They have to leave for weeks at a time. The father sits on the eggs and doesn't move the whole time, doesn't eat, doesn't do anything except for sits on the eggs for weeks at a time. How dumb is that? Like, what do you move? When do you go somewhere else? It's so dumb.
Somebody's going to scoop up your eggs. They're going to slurp them up like they're chips.
No, but before you get pregnant, you think and you go, okay, well, this is not a good environment to raise our children. So we're going to go somewhere, even swim across to like freaking Argentina and go up a little bit. Because if you go up to Buenos Aires, it's not as cold and you can like find more food and stuff. So dumb. Okay, this is bizarre. Okay, you guys listening? Because this is bizarre. Well, this is what I think you should do. This would be make your birth so much easier, and the first 3 months of your child's life so much easier.
Okay.
Black bears get pregnant right before they go into hibernation, or they can have sex up to like 3 months, they said, before hibernation, but they won't conceive until they go into hibernation.
Oh.
So that they have, or no, so that they conceive at a point where that when they go into hibernation, then they give birth and they're still asleep. They give birth. The baby comes out and starts suckling them for 3 months while they're still in hibernation. It just lays there suckling on them, and it grows 3 times as big in 3 months. So yeah, so you just wake up and there's a baby. Oh my God, there's a baby. Don't you think that's what you should do? Don't you think that's a much better plan?
That sounds like a nice birth.
Yeah, doesn't it? I want to know if they don't roll over on the baby or something like that, though.
Oh, March 8th. We have another March 8th guest. That's also my guess. And I didn't even realize that was International Women's Day.
Oh, and you're going to have a woman, right? You're giving birth to a woman?
Yes. So we're maybe we'll try to skew the results and do everything we can.
Do it.
To move the process along.
The Queen of the Von Edmonson Clam has proclaimed, love this podcast. So I think that we're doing pretty good. What mammal has the largest brain?
The dolphin.
Nope. I'll give you a hint. It's the dumbest when it comes to birth.
The human.
Humans have the biggest brain, but they can't figure out how to give birth correctly. Isn't that weird?
We give birth correctly. It's just
no, but it's so weird that like you figure like your cat can like crawl under the house and give birth and everything's fine. But like a woman has to scream and cry and go to the hospital. I can't have the baby. I'm gonna die. Oh my God. Okay, we're at least smarter than octopus. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Because an octopus only has a lifespan of 3 to 5 years. They hatch their eggs. Once their eggs are hatched, they lay their eggs, they hatch eggs. Once the eggs are hatched, they die.
Yep. And don't they have a million eggs or something?
Yeah, but how dumb is that?
It's pretty dumb.
There's so many dumb people on this planet. Oh, here's something, though, that I didn't know. And this just proves, this is what I've been saying for decades. And you guys have got to start listening to me. And I posted it because there's so much fucked up shit that goes on this planet. You take humans off of it and people think like, nature's beautiful. Nature is a dick. Nature is a dick straight up. I've posted this that I learned recently is that killer whales eat seals, which eat penguins, which is just a fucked up system. But this is what I didn't know too. Male dolphins routinely have been observed doing this, is they will, like a pod of male dolphins, like a dozen male dolphins will get a female dolphin, pull her away from the pod and make it so she can't get away. And they all will take turns raping the female dolphin. And she's trying to get away the whole time and they won't let her get away. And then once they've all had their way with her, they let her go. Are you ready? And then I'm not even done yet. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
After they rape her, the 50% less streamlined through the water. So she's 50% slower than the other dolphins. And a lot of times they'll leave her behind and predators will eat her.
Sounds terrible.
Kind of depressing, David.
Yeah.
How fucked up is this planet? I tell ya. I thought that humans are the worst, but everyone on this planet is the worst. Go ahead. What were you going to say, Nathan?
What if that dolphin was Diane Sawyer?
Well, I'm sure that the dolphin community has a Diane Sawyer. But Diane Sawyer, I wonder, wouldn't that be funny? Now, let's everybody picture Diane Sawyer being raped by 12 dolphins and then left to just be eaten by a shark.
What does this have to do with? What does this have to do with births and nature? Besides from the raping, I guess.
Well, no, that's how female dolphins get pregnant.
Yeah.
And they don't like it. It's not like they're hanging out. They've been observed trying to get away, and the dolphins are hitting her and keeping her in place. It's just fucked up. It's just so fucked up. Go ahead, what?
You got to give humans is that not all the time, but sometimes you get pregnant during a pleasurable event. Where like cats, for example, you keep using them as a prime example of a species that does it right. Like male cats have like barbed hook penises that they like jab in the cats and they just scream and it's painful and it sucks. And they're basically just raping each other as well. So at least we do that better than other species.
Totally. A listener just said, "Oh my God, what is happening?"
I don't know.
It's true. At least we have the idea of consent within the human race, and I don't know that there's another species that has the idea of consent. Is there?
Birds, maybe. They're like with the dancing and the preening.
That's true. There's some male birds that have to build a little house for the female bird and give her presents and stuff. So that's true. That is true.
And then there are the spiders and other insects where the female eats the male after they do it.
It's so just uncalled for. Hello?
What happened, David?
Were you possessed by a demon?
Yeah, I actually dropped. Luau Lulu went berserk and she knocked everything over. Okay, I have one more fact. And then we're done. Okay, human babies suck their thumbs. What do elephant babies suck?
Their noses?
Their tusks. Wait,
their trunks, yeah.
Sorry.
I thought that was cute.
Actually.
Elephant babies are cute when you see them and you see them in the videos. They look like there's a person inside of an elephant costume sometimes. It's cute. Like
Ace Ventura style.
Yeah, but I saw some video of like big elephants kicking elephant babies that weren't theirs. It's I need off this planet. Like all of you people, and I'm grouping humans in with killer whales and seals and penguins also rape their penguin girls too. But anyways, you guys are all awful. You need to get it together because I can't deal. But go ahead.
And there you have it. That is from humans to raping penguins. The whole spectrum. Did we all learn something today? Casey
Hare learned a whale. That's all she says. A whale.
She was probably guessing. Okay, well, like I said, part 2 of this is going to be when whoever the three of us is that gives birth and actually can tell the tale for real, like from experience.
We want to know all the gory details. We want to know everything you went through. We want to know if it really truly is painful.
I guess it was we probably all figured out that it's me that's giving birth, right?
Oh.
Obvious.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, I thought it was me.
Yeah. Anyway, so that'll be part 2. We don't know when that's going to come. But when it comes, one of you may be a lucky winner. We'll see.
We'll see. I can't wait to see what the prize is.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a really good prize.
It's gonna be a placenta.
We're gonna ship you the raw placenta. Anyway, unless there's anything else.
No.
Well, thank you all for tuning in, especially those of you who tuned into both episodes back to back. It was great to have you. Please, if you haven't already, give us a like on Facebook and Instagram. That really helps us. And if you're listening, I know you guys have missed out on so much of the visual fun that we have. But thank you for listening. And please shout out on iTunes as well. And we'll be back. Oh, might be back next week. We might be doing an episode next week instead of 2 weeks from now. So please go to our Facebook and Instagram and we'll let you know when the next live stream is.
Yeah, like us on Facebook and twat us on Twitter. We're on Twitter too. We don't know how to work it, but we're on it.
Don't go to Twitter.
But we're on there. Oh my God, a listener wished you all the best and hoped you have an easy birth and can't wait to see little angel.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we're going to try it one more time. Are you guys ready? I'm going to count to 3, and then we're all 3 going to do it together. You guys ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. It's Britney.
Time, bitch.
Bitch. Oh, Jesus.
The Unimaginary Friend Cast.